The third chapter starts with Do-jun sitting behind Chairman Jin on the floor of the meeting room. The atmosphere in the room is tense, especially for Do-jun, who is filled with anxiety. He thinks to himself, instead of my father, my godfather's eldest son, Jin Youngjun, is sitting here. He's barely 20. Does that mean it's already decided that he is the successor? Asterisk. Chairman Jin addresses the room, asking, everyone, tell me your thoughts. What do you think will happen? One person replies, you already know that old man's perseverance, don't you? I would say that, in the end, there is doubt that they will collapse. Isn't it more likely that they will attack head-on? Chairman Jin asks, what do you mean by head-on? The person responds, I'm talking about headline repression. Chairman Jin probes further, can't we already assume there will be headline repression? Or are you saying this with military input in mind? The person answers, yes, sir. Chairman Jin muses, the army, and everyone begins whispering to each other. Do-jun thinks, what is this end of term repression? The army, are they discussing political affairs outside of the company? Asterisk. Another person chimes in, Chairman Jin, we must consider another perspective. Over 1 million people have gathered today nationwide. If we consider the army, it might not be 1 million but at least 2 million people. Chairman Jin replies, do not be afraid, even in front of guns and knives, huh? A third person responds, the current situation places the people's anger and fury at the forefront. If the flames were to go out, people might become afraid of guns and knives, but deploying the army would only pour oil onto the fire. I am sure the current government is aware of this too. Chairman Jin retorts, so what are you trying to say? That we should just prepare for when the government falls apart? Do you have any certainty that the next president will come from the opposition? The third person nervously says, I am just stating the possibilities. Chairman Jin slams his fist on the table. How can you speak like that? Of course, it might happen or it might not. Do you think I am sacrificing my precious time here to listen to your might or might not stories? The third person quickly apologizes. Chairman Jin turns to the vice chairman, tell me right now which rope I should grab onto. You first. Who should it be? Everyone in the room falls silent, heads down. Do-jun thinks, that bastard shifted the blame all onto me and even orchestrated a murder. Asterisk. Do-jun's godfather speaks up, it's not the government that would collapse, and the heir is also certain. While this government stood for 7 years, there have been countless protests. I simply consider this situation just a little worse than usual. Do-jun says to himself, something is strange. In 3 days, the president of the country will declare surrender. The Blue House should already have some profile by now, but the Sunyang group doesn't even know this information. Is this the 80s Enterprise scenario? No matter how messed up the current city is, all they talk about is which rope to stand behind. A place like this should be discussing a management strategy to cope with changes and predicting future changes. I expected a conversation so intricate that it would be beyond a normal employee's understanding, but... Asterisk. Chairman Jin says, it's fine. Everyone may vacate the room. Open your ears and gather information. Everyone stands up, bows to Chairman Jin, and leaves the room. Do-jun reflects, in the end, all they talked about was who to follow. Asterisk. Chairman Jin says to Do-jun, you may stand up now. Do-jun stands up, but his legs are numb, and he thinks, I can't stand after sitting like that for so long. Asterisk. Chairman Jin continues, I am proud of you, my Do-jun. Do-jun replies, yes, Chairman Jin. Chairman Jin observes, it was quite a long time, but you sat there without wincing or showing any discomfort. Even an adult would have been fidgeting because of the pain in their legs, but you stayed upright. Do-jun thinks, I was so focused on listening to their conversation that I didn't realize how fast time passed or that my legs were hurting. It seems he likes that aspect of me. Asterisk. Chairman Jin asks, but I am curious about one thing. How have you changed so much? Do-jun thinks, after seeing Do-jun's passive appearance, he must have noticed the sudden change. Asterisk. Do-jun replies, I don't want to just tolerate it anymore. Chairman Jin asks in shock, what? Do-jun continues, I tolerated it all because my mother and father seemed to be watching and being cautious, but now I'm so angry that I can't just sit and tolerate it. Do-jun thinks, If I act a little here, it would be perfect if I shed a few tears. Asterisk. At that moment, Chairman Jin unexpectedly hugs Do-jun. Do-jun thinks, what is this? An unexpected response. Is it because of his compassion for his grandchild? Then this is the timing to give him another shock. Asterisk. Do-jun tells Chairman Jin, befriend all three of them. Chairman Jin asks, what do you mean? Befriend all three. Do-jun explains, what you said earlier about the next president of the country. If the president is the strongest person here, wouldn't it be better to keep all three as your friends, regardless of who becomes the president? Since all three are powerful enough to become the president anyway, isn't that possible? Chairman Jin smiles and replies, why wouldn't it be possible? It's better to have more friends. He laughs loudly after saying that. Do-jun grins, thinking, I'll just end this here for today. Asterisk. Chairman Jin says to Do-jun, does our Do-jun want to play now? Grandpa has a lot to do. Also, tell Youngjun that I will see him now. Do-jun leaves the meeting room, smiling, yes, Chairman Jin. After Do-jun leaves, Chairman Jin calls his secretary. From now on, take care of all three candidates. The secretary replies, all three of them. Chairman Jin confirms, yes, take care of the VIPs, and don't forget to say I hope the fussy country's situation gets resolved too. The secretary responds, I understand, Chairman. Chairman Jin mutters, to think that a 10-year-old would say such a praiseworthy thing. Youngjun enters the meeting room and asks, did you call, Chairman? Chairman Jin tuts, right now, I am your grandfather.